terrifying. It's the Ghoul Kids Club. You should be running, Yellow. Justin's a monster, and Amy eats worms in the Ghoul Kids Club. Ghoul Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Ghoul Kids Club. Ooh, we have a very special episode today.
A Halloween special, if you will.
A Halloween special. A bit of an extra episode.
Yeah,
if you will.
We're doing a lot of stuff lately.
There's a lot of content for you guys. Yeah, doing a lot. Justin and I have seen a lot of each other.
You know, it's that time of year, though. And
it is.
Unfortunately, Halloween season, we're approaching the end.
Yeah.
As we record this, you know, it's already less than a week to go.
Yep.
And then another Halloween season will have come and gone. But, you know, we keep it alive in our hearts all year long.
It's true. I usually take a brief sojourn in November and December.
Sure, yeah.
To be in Thanksgiving Christmas mode. And then January 1st hits and
it's
I'm
like,
back
all right, back at it.
All
like
right.
a crack at it.
And the countdown begins.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially.
Just wishing our lives away.
I don't wish it away, but yeah.
But yeah, kind of.
But yeah, a little bit. I'm always, at least it's still cold in January though. And you know I love cold weather.
Let me just set the mood for you right now.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead and set the scene for our listeners.
For me, it is. Oh gosh, it's pretty cold out. Like it's like in the 40s right now. I've got 50s.
Yeah.
Outside, I can see the leaves changing.
Yep.
There is a fall candle burning. I'm drinking. I got my coffee, and I'm ready to talk about horror movies on a cozy October Sunday morning.
That's right. We're ready. And we'll just shout out. Today is America's favorite mom.
Yes,
it's her birthday today.
It's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Donna.
Donna Wan, America's favorite mom, turns 35 today.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's young and spry as ever.
It's really impressive, honestly, how we were born, and somehow she's still 35. I don't know how she does it.
Diet and exercise.
That's right. Just the classics. The classics. Happy birthday to Juan. Just a little shout out because we are recording on her B-Day. But yeah, I am similarly, I am sitting in my guest room / office, which I should just say, like, I now have that. I'm usually always recording from the couch, but this is a much better situation for me. And the guest room in our house, I feel like has the best views and lighting.
Okay.
Now you wouldn't know that from the Zoom camera, but
or the audio that no one but since no one can see you but me.
I know, but I'm just saying. My view is a gigantic tree in our front yard that always turns bright yellow, and it is well on its way to turning bright yellow. So I have a beautiful view of that tree. I similarly have my coffee. Mine is iced.
Yes.
And it is currently 52 outside. So we got a cozy situation.
I feel like we gotta make the most. We got a couple days of Halloween season left. We gotta make the most of it. Like there's no more bullshitting around. Like let's get to the good stuff.
You gotta be watching the heavy hitters. Which, speaking of watching some heavy hitters, let's talk about. Let's get into our topic for today. What are we gonna talk about today on this extra special Halloween special?
Right. So in my mind, the Halloween specials are more just kind of memories and anecdotes from you and I personally, and I think one of my defining traits is my love of horror.
Your pillars of personality.
But yes, pretty much. And it's as long as I can remember. I don't know. Yeah. I've been in love with the horror genre, fascinated by it, and I want to talk scary movies because while a lot of the movies I grew up loving are like, 80s and 90s horror movies, it's not something we have really ever gotten into on the podcast.
Yeah, it really isn't. We focus on kind of a different type of nostalgia, almost.
Well, a childhood nostalgia. You know, like I mean,
Right.
and I guess it depends on your specific childhood, but I wasn't watching the Freddy movies when they came out,
Right.
right? Because I was like 2, so
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is formative to me. That's a term I use a lot, but like the 80s and 90s stuff especially,
Yeah.
really formative. What are you came to horror movies
Yeah.
later than me because
Yeah.
you were a self-admitted wuss.
Oh yeah, self-proclaimed scaredy cat. Yeah. And I've talked on the pod before about, you know, just being a big scaredy cat, and it was really not till middle school, high school that I started kind of really dipping my toe into horror movies, and honestly, just from kind of like almost like a peer pressure I mean, well, you'd be like at sleepovers, you know, or like
You don't
you know,
want to
as
be
you-
the person
yeah.
who's like, no, I'm too scared to watch it, and you're just
Yeah.
opening yourself up to abuse.
Yeah. And then I think as you became, you know, as I became a little more independent, you know, could go out and do things with my friends, and going to the movies was a big part of that. And so it'd be like, if, you know, going to see a scary movie, I feel like there's something, and even, you know, I work with high schoolers, and so I feel like there's even something today about, like, maybe it's a little more about streaming, but like going to see a scary movie in the theater with your friends is sort of like, it's a rite of passage, and it's kind of a, like,
It's a coming of age moment.
Yeah, you're not just going to see any movie. I feel like for kids even nowadays to go to a theater to see a movie, if it wasn't like a superhero movie, like they want to see a scary movie with their friends. Like,
Yeah.
and so I think as I became, because it's more of an experience, right? And so as I became a little more like middle school, high school, did more things with my friends without parents or anything like that, I kind of naturally started watching more horror movies. Now, you were always a big fan, and our dad was always a big fan.
Yeah.
So I did have some foundational stuff. But yeah, I didn't, and it was kind of just like, just kind of threw myself in and just worked through the fear.
Right.
Because I was still quite scared at that time. But it was just like, it was like immersion therapy. over the
Yeah, I
course
mean,
of
you
several
had
years
to
until I
build up
just
your
wasn't.
horror calluses, you know, and once that's done, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
becomes
now
a lot
things
easier.
just don't, you know, they just don't scare me.
Now I just don't have feelings anymore.
Yeah, now I've just numbed out.
Now I'm just
completely.
now I've just built up a cold, hard shell.
I'm just a hollow husk of a person. No, I'm just kidding. There are still things, as we talked about in our last episode, which I hope you all enjoyed, about some things that still give me the willies. And every now and then there'll be something that I'm like, well, I'll think about that when I'm getting up to go pee in the middle of the night. But it's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
become
much rarer than it used to be.
more and more rare.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't remember a time when I didn't love horror movies, and it's
love that, yeah.
entirely because of our dad.
Yeah.
And for me, also, horror movies are intrinsically linked with Halloween. Like,
Yes.
I love Halloween. I love horror movies, and those kind of. And I'll talk more about I had a moment later in life where it it clicked for me. But
Yeah.
for me, my love of horror and Halloween is
Yeah.
those
Now,
are
I
hand in
always
hand.
loved Halloween.
Sure,
That's the things I always loved Halloween.
You liked spooky, you just didn't like scary.
Yes.
And I liked
Yes.
spooky and scary.
Yes, exactly. I didn't like being scared. I didn't like that. Yeah.
Well, I did to an extent, obviously. I was
Yeah.
also a regular kid, and I would get
Yeah.
scared by stuff. And my parents weren't letting me watch
No.
stuff that was super age inappropriate.
I feel like because you were being, Dad was introducing you to it a lot earlier, because
Right.
you were interested and I wasn't.
So our dad kind of, because he grew up in the 50s and 60s, and so obviously, Universal monster movies are much older than that, most of them.
Yeah.
He wasn't alive when those were coming out, but he
Right.
grew up in the era when television first became a thing, and
Yeah.
you had these stations where it's like, okay, we've got so many hours a day we have to fill with programming, and they would license movies, and a lot of those were the old Universal monster movies, and that really led to a pop culture renaissance in the 50s and
Right.
60s. That's when you had
what we
like kind of
talked
the boomer generation, our parents' generation. You know, you had Monster Kids, and that's when you got like Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, and you had the models and toys, and this is the world Stephen King was growing up in, you know,
Right,
like,
yeah.
and so our dad, you know, used to tell me that he would see those movies on TV at night.
Yeah.
So he grew up loving the old black and white Universal monsters, Frankenstein and Dracula and the Wolfman and all their sequels, the 50s like Atomic Age.
Yeah, the Blob.
Like we
He really
talked
loved
about in the
Blob,
last episode. The Blob, you know, space aliens and stuff like that. Less so that stuff.
Yeah.
Giant monsters. He was a monster guy.
He did love a monster. He loved...
And that's where I get it. It's
like,
absolutely where I get it from.
Yeah. A little later, but he was a big Alien and Predator. Later, but
he liked all kinds of
monsters.
stuff. He was a lifelong fan because as I grew older and our, you know, relationship kind of evolved and I became more mature and able to watch other stuff, you know, the stuff he was showing me was stuff that had been coming out his entire life. So I mean, it was something he really followed, and you know, I've talked on the podcast about how I've been, you know, working on digitizing our old VHS tapes and pulling stuff off of them, and I thought it was kind of sweet how, like, I don't know, I had a moment when I was recording something off there, and I was like, this is, you know, I could just imagine him doing that in 1993, like firing up like, oh, there's a Three Stooges marathon that's going to run all night.
Yep.
And I'm going to record it because I can't stay up all night.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's absolutely fucking something I would do. You know? Or like they're having like a monster, like a pre-Joe Bob Briggs Monster Vision marathon of like Ray Harryhausen monster movies.
And he's going
to records the thing all night. And I'm like, that's absolutely something I would do back then when you couldn't go just find those movies on a streaming service or even on home video, you know, most of the time.
And you're like, I am like him.
I am my father's son. Yeah. And his influence was integral to me becoming a horror fan. I don't know that I would be without him. And also I also attribute to my love of history. Right. So, and I think that's probably why this podcast often takes the form of retrospectives and kind of like tracing the history of things because I love history in an academic sense and in other sense.
Comes from our mom.
And that comes from our mom.
Yep.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's our mom. Like, I mean, I have a degree in history. I still read a lot, and history is a big passion for me. But I also love, like, when I love something, you know, on a personal level, like horror or wrestling or whatever.
You want to know the history.
I want to know the history. I want to immerse myself as much as I can in the history. I want to watch all the wrestling I can and learn as much about it. Yeah. And with something like horror movies, it's like, oh my God, we've got over a century of stuff to delve into. And you start with the surface layer stuff, but it just, there's so much that I've just resigned myself to, like, even at this point, I'm 40 and I'm like, I'm never going to see it all. There's just too much. Like, you know,
but it makes for a fun, lifelong,
that's almost how I'm viewing it at this point. This is just a lifelong project. Like, let's see how much of this, the history of this thing I love that I can learn about and watch. Yeah. And I just view it as like kind of a passive hobby. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, that's really how it's all developed for you.
Yeah.
Is into this. I mean, yeah, it is absolutely like, it is such a core of your personality, loving the horror genre.
As I drink out of a Universal Monsters coffee mug that you bought for me. Thank you.
I sure did.
The original monster show, or the original horror show. Yeah, I'm literally, and this is my regular, I'm not drinking out of this because it's Halloween. This is just one of my regular ones.
It's a good mug. It's a nice big mug.
It's a great mug.
Yeah, it's a great mug. I'm as always, I'm drinking out of my Honey, I Shrunk the Kids McDonald's.
Yes.
cup. But I'm also having iced coffee. So
There you go.
but as always,
So what are your kind of earliest memories? Like, let's go way back.
go in the way back machine.
Let's go in the way back machine. Tell me about, like, what are your, like, first horror movie memories?
Well, definitely the Universal Monsters movies. You know, I think our dad obviously introduced those to us, not just because that's something that he loved, but they were easily accessible. You know, because obviously this was a time before, I mean, home video was kind of just
well, and we had VCR for the first time too, and as I can attest, we had several of those movies taped off of like AMC.
Yes. So
with the AMC intros, by the way.
Oh my God. Love. And so, and I also think like, and even now, I think that's a good entry point for kids into horror because, you know, they're made in the 20s and it's like, or, you know, it's not as scary. And
by modern standards, they're not scary at all.
Right, by modern standards. Now kids are getting introduced just like they're just going straight like Terrifier and
right. They're watching Human Centipede in the 3rd grade.
And we're barely joking, but
yeah, that's not probably much of an exaggeration.
That's not much of an exaggeration. But for us innocent children in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I can remember watching I can vividly remember watching Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, and Wolfman. At least those 4.
Yes.
As a kid. Frankenstein has always been my favorite.
Okay, well, I was about to ask your favorite. I'm sure we talked about it
I would
before.
say like that movie specifically. But really just all those in general. Frankenstein was always my favorite, I think, because he's so sympathetic. And he's really not I mean, he is a monster, but not of his own choosing, and you know,
he's definitely the most sympathetic of them.
Yeah, he's a very sad character, and so I think like I didn't like him because he was sad, but it was just like
you just wanted to be his friend.
I just wanted to be his friend. I was like, I could fix him. You know, it's kind of that mentality.
Someone already tried to fix him, and look what they did.
That has unfortunately carried throughout my life. The I can fix him mentality. But no, I think just because it made him less scary.
Yeah.
Right. So I think like as a kid, because he is sympathetic, and I'm like, I bet he wouldn't throw me in a lake. Like if he,
I could talk him out of it.
I bet I could talk him out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember being The Mummy never scared me.
Too slow.
Wolfman,
Too slow.
Too slow. What does Homer Simpson say? I'd rather have the Mummy chase me than the Wolfman. Was that a Homer Simpson
Well,
thing?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Wolfman's fast.
He's very fast.
Wolfman's scary.
I'm very slow. So if I'm going to outrun any of them, it's the Mummy. Like,
well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Frankenstein. He's not
particularly fast either. Yeah. He doesn't
have a hustle. Those shoes are way too big for him to really.
He never gets out of first gear.
No. So
now Wolfman, obviously, like we said, Dracula, he can just turn into a bat and fly, so he's super fast.
He's the most
or he can turn into a wolf.
And I think I've mentioned this on the pod before, but if I haven't, Dracula was one that I actually was a little scared of.
Okay.
As a kid.
Bela Lugosi Dracula?
The Bela Lugosi. And I can remember, I mean, for years as a kid, living in Florida specifically, that when I would go to sleep at night, now the thought of this now is so cringy because I couldn't imagine doing it now, but I would lay on my side and I had to pull my hair over my neck as a kid. Literally, always, like I'd be laying in bed, I'm like, I gotta cover my neck. Because to have my neck exposed, it's too tempting, apparently.
Have we always been old souls? Because I feel like how many other kids in the early 90s were like, you know what I'm fucking scared of? Bela Lugosi Dracula, and that he might actually come in my room and bite my neck at night. Like, did we grow up during the Depression or something?
That's because we were not watching fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, everyone else was in the slasher movies.
Everyone else was watching those, and I was just like, I better cover my neck, or Bela Lugosi Dracula is gonna come in and bite me. And also the logic of the hair being a deterrent in any way, but like he couldn't just push it aside.
So that's why you wash your hair with garlic.
That's right. I always
Oh,
felt
that
it
was
like
terrible.
a pizza. This is like a pizza parlor. That would be the worst part, by the way, of being a vampire. No Italian food?
No Italian food.
Absolutely
Oh, my
not.
God.
If I had to live forever but couldn't eat Italian food, game over. I don't want it. I'm not joking.
Pass.
A pass. Hard pass. I can't have lasagna? Pizza? No, thank you.
Pizza?
Pizza? That's what makes life worth living, in my opinion.
There you go.
But anyway, so I can remember that from,
So you were scared of Dracula.
actual scared of Dracula. Not so much that I couldn't watch it, but it left a lasting effect, which is, it's kind of like, now, like, I'll watch a movie and I may not be scared in the moment. I'm like watching it, I'm like, oh God, that's freaky, or oh God,
Yeah.
But it's always what stays with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the thing where when you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you're like, oh, I am actually that scared me a little bit. That image has stuck with me. And so Dracula was one that stuck with me. Because I think he'd come in when you're sleeping.
That's what he does. He creeps in
He's
in
a
the
creeper.
dark. He's creeping.
He's a creeper. So yeah, that was really my introduction. And I can remember we would go on walks with our parents, but sometimes if it was just Dad taking us for a walk, then we would make up scary stories. Do you want to talk about that for a moment?
Please. Yeah, we
would-
would make up scary stories and tell each other.
And we would walk around our neighborhood. In fact, there were some train tracks kind of back behind, and we would walk all the way back to the train tracks. And again, sometimes our mom was with us, but if she wasn't, and it was just Dad, then we would make up some scary stories. And I am not a good storyteller. I'm not good at improv. I'm not...
At least back then you weren't.
I'm still not. You and Dad would always come up with some like great stories. Of course, Dad was probably just telling us.
Dad
like,
was
old
just
movie
telling
plots.
us exactly that he
knew
Dad was
and we
certainly
didn't.
telling us about the story of movies that we just hadn't seen.
So they always seemed really good. And you were able to come up, and you all would roast me so bad because I was so bad at telling stories, and I would be like, okay, and Frankenstein would be like, he would be there, and he would be, and you guys would be like, oh my God, come on, off with
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like,
But so
okay.
that's a
You know what? It
fond
gets
memory
to
I
a
have.
point where it's just like, oh, God, stop. Okay.
just put her out of her misery. somehow.
She's not having any fun. Clearly.
But that's a memory I have for sure.
Yeah.
Of growing up. So, and I do feel like you all, I never felt like it was like a club I couldn't be a part of. It was that I was too scared.
You didn't want to be a part of it.
I did want, yeah. I did. I wanted to spend time with Dad and you and stuff, but it never made me feel like I couldn't. I was always welcome.
Of course,
But
yeah.
sometimes I would participate until things got too scary for me.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Until
But yeah,
Dracula
that's-
shows up.
I could handle him. I just not when I went to bed at night, because that's when he comes. That's when he flip-flaps into your room.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh.
Universal Monsters were kind of the entry point for me as well, for all the reasons. You just said we had those taped off TV. And then my love of horror as a genre, evolved into probably Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that was the
Right.
those were the first kid horror things that I recall being aware of. And I'm a big proponent of kid horror.
Off in
I
the 90s.
love kid horror now, and I love the idea
Yeah.
of kid horror as a genre, of being able to introduce young people to the genre in ways that are more tame and age appropriate, but
For those
still
kids whose parents are not allowing them to watch Terrifier at the age of 6 or whatever.
yeah. So, and of course, we've done entire episodes on both of those topics, and they're not movies, so I won't go too much into them. But yeah, obviously, Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, and a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes, we'll watch them now. I watch a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark, actually, especially this time of year. And April and I will joke about how it's like they're all kind of, most of them are derivative of something else.
Sure, yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, this is this movie. Or this is their take on this movie. It's not that they're, like, doing the same thing, but... they're not, like, remaking it, but it's, like, the same idea of, like... Oh, this is their Fright Night, because it's the Vampire Next Door episode.
Yes.
You know, this is the Super Specs as they live. You know? You know?
Yeah,
and a lot of those are also urban legend stuff, too.
Yeah. And again, entry points for kids.
Yes.
Because it's like they're making something that might not be palatable for a young audience. Like, they're making the kid version of that kind of.
Yeah.
Kid-friendly.
Yes. So what would you say was your next step? Because you didn't...
Yeah, I would say... I'm trying to think
because you were never into Goosebumps, really. I mean, not really.
I'd read like a couple, but I wasn't super into it.
And Are You Afraid of the Dark was probably too scary for you for the most part, do you think? I mean... Well,
it definitely was at first, because if we talked about it, I can remember when that theme would come on, I'd be like, okay, time to go to bed.
Bye!
But, bye! As soon as Ren and Stimpy was over, it was like, I'd hear that, that boat would start, and I was like, okay, Mom, I'm ready to go to bed. Because she'd let us stay up late for Snick Night. But I mean, I eventually started watching Are You Afraid of the Dark? Because, and I can't remember the dates it came out, but, you know, probably the first year or two, I was a little too scared, and then I would stay up sometimes and watch it. Because, I mean, I did watch a lot of that during that time. It's just as I got a little older. So definitely did some Are You Afraid of the Dark, and they definitely would scar me. But I think probably the next, again, would be, like, get to, like, middle school, and you start watching scarier movies, or like late elementary, middle school, start watching scary movies at like sleepovers and with friends. I'm trying to think.
With me, it was again Dad.
Because he was like, "You ready for the next?"
it was kind of like I remember after we had moved here, probably 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. Watching I don't remember which Treehouse of Horror episode it is, The Simpsons.
Oh, God, those scared the shit out of me.
Where they did The Shining, the parody of The Shining.
Yes.
And I remember Mom and Dad laughing a lot, and I was just like, I don't get it. And I guess, and they were like, well, it's a movie called The Shining, and they're parodying it.
Yeah.
And that became, I think he could watch The Shining. I think we could get there. And so I remember going to Blockbuster, and Dad rented us The Shining, and that was sort of the beginning of several years of me and Dad specifically, like basically him renting us movies to show me, and it started with The Shining.
Gotcha.
So that was that. I feel like The Shining was the first one where I kind of like leveled up in my horror movie fandom, of like, okay, you want to see some real like stuff that might stick. Talk about sticking with you. We talked about The Shining in the last episode, obviously, but like, the girls in the hallway and the woman in the tub, and that movie stuck with me. I read the book several times. The book stuck with me. It's one of my favorite horror stories. It's probably my favorite horror story ever. And so The Shining, I feel like, was a big... And then it was... I'm trying to think of other movies that because I remember there was definitely those, like, middle school into high school years where it was a semi-regular thing where we were renting... He would just decide, like, oh, you gotta see this one. And...
Okay. Is that when you watched, like, Alien and Predator?
Predator, definitely. Yes, both Alien and Predator. I specifically remember The Exorcist. Because I remember that being like, because The Exorcist has such a reputation, and I'd never seen it before, and I remember like thinking about it all day. Of like, I know that's what we're doing tonight.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was like this like tension of like, ooh, I gotta brace myself for The Exorcist.
Because again, a notorious, like people walked out of the theater. Yeah.
You're like, how fucked up, or how much is this going to fuck me up? It's not a question of, is it going to fuck me up? How much is it going to fuck me up?
And is it going to be more than The Shining? Because I'm already pretty.
Yep. So I remember, Predator, Alien. I remember The Exorcist specifically. Mm-hmm. I remember Reanimator specifically. Which you have still never seen, right?
That's wild that he had you watching The Reanimator.
I was probably too young for Reanimator. But no, I wasn't.
I've never.
No, I wasn't.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I've still never seen Reanimator, and it would be so funny, and I know why. But that was always one of Dad's favorites.
Yes.
And later in life, after our dad had the stroke, and he would come and stay with us some week, like every other weekend, and we would always do. He'd come on a Friday, and we'd always do Scary Movie Saturday.
Yep.
Not that we didn't watch scary movies any other time of the weekend, but it was always like, all right, what are we going to watch tonight?
That was our thing to do with Dad.
That was our thing. Scary Movie Saturday. All right, buddy, what are we watching tonight? And I would always be like, are you sure? We're looking for, do you want to watch the Reanimator? And he's like, no. And it's like, because he didn't want to watch it with me, understandably. Yeah. But I didn't know that at the time, because I didn't know.
And honestly, it's one particular scene. Where
yes, but he was just like, he was always just like, no. And I'm like, but it's one of your favorites. And he's like, next.
Yeah, Reanimator that's a wild one, man. And then
I don't want to watch that with my daughter.
But he's fine watching it with me. He rented it for us.
But that's different.
It is different.
It just is different.
Yeah.
What's
another dad classic that I also remember renting and watching during this time?
What?
Hellraiser.
You watched Hellraiser this time? How old were you at this time? Like late elementary?
Middle school into high school. I was.
Oh,
I don't think I saw. Honestly, I don't think I saw any of this stuff at an age that was inappropriate. I mean,
you were like 13 or older.
This was the Attitude Era, man. This was DX and Stone Cold.
Okay, so I guess I was thinking you were like 10.
No, this was several years later. No, so this is leveling up. We start with The Shining, which is scary compared to Hellraiser and Reanimator, not nearly as like batshit and bloody.
And
graphic and
it is, but
goopy.
It isn't. Yeah, The Shining is so psychological.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So it's way less goopy, which is saying something because you got that bathtub scene.
Yeah, that one's pretty goopy.
It's goopy, but nothing compared to Hellraiser.
Nothing compared to Hellraiser.
Now I feel like so at this time. For me, middle and high school, I was, my best friend Jessie does love horror movies, and her dad loves horror movies, so he raised her on those, and so there was some influence there. And so during this time, I feel like I'm watching a lot of the stuff that was coming out at this time. I can specifically remember going and renting Final Destination.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a horror movie, but it's also kind of a thriller. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit tamer of a horror movie.
I don't know. Some of those deaths get pretty wild.
They do. I feel like teen horror is kind of a little bit where I was going. So Final Destination, I can remember being like, I still love that movie. I love all those movies. I don't care. Like, I know they're not all good. I know they're formulaic, but I love them. And I have such like a nostalgia, especially for that first one. Not to mention my love of Devon Sawa. I was like, oh, a horror movie starring Devon Sawa? Yes, please. But I can remember being at the house, our I will say where it is, our split level home that I loved so much, and renting Final Destination on like a Friday night and watching that. But also at this time, like The Faculty, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill. So all those kind of urban legend, like all those that were coming out late 90s, early 2000s.
Were you watching the Scream movies back then?
So I did watch Scream in high school. I think a little later, but I didn't watch them like when they came out. I can remember when you first saw Scream with Eric, And I remember you had gone to his house for sleepover. You would come home and you were telling me about it. And
It's so funny that you bring this up because I was like, this is where I'm going next.
Oh, how funny. Well, yeah, because
the stuff I would watch with Eric.
I remember you talking about it coming home, and you telling me about the opening scene was so scary.
I remember that, yeah.
And I remember just being like, I believe that one's too much for me. Like, I was just like, I don't think I can handle that right now. But I did watch it in high school.
Okay.
And I love the Scream movies. That's one of my favorite franchises. So, at this time, like, I'm thinking like middle high school, it's kind of like, it's 13 Ghosts, it's House on Haunted Hill, it's Urban Legend, it's Faculty, Final Destination. So whatever you'd call that type of movie, that's what I was, that was my next step. For sure. Yeah. And now, I still love all those.
Yeah, I was for me, it was a lot of watching the classics. Because I certainly was keeping up with some modern stuff. Like especially that like 90s, 2000s wave of slashers that sort of started with Scream. I was keeping up with that. But it was a lot of watching the classics with my dad. And then, my friend Eric, we would go, who is a listener to the podcast, by the way.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
What
up? I would go over to his house and I would like stay the whole weekend. And like on a Friday night,
was there anything better than doing like a whole weekend sleepover with your friend, like a Friday and Saturday night?
Oh man. And like not even any real plan. You're just going to like find stuff to do.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of what Eric and I would do, his mom would pick us up on Friday from school. Mm-hmm. Would stop at Stoney's Pizza, which is no longer there, and get a pizza
R.I.P.
and a 2-liter of either Citra or Cheerwine.
Oh!
And that's what we would have for dinner. And a lot of what we would do is he had a lot of movies, a lot of horror movies, taped off of, bought or taped off TV. And this was the first time. I have a particular soft spot for the slasher movie, which I know is sort of like often viewed as like the bottom of the barrel of horror. Mm-hmm. I love it. And this was sort of this was the first time I saw the Friday the 13th movies. I very specifically remember watching the first Friday the 13th movie I saw was part 6, Jason Lives.
Oh.
At Eric's house.
I jumped in right in the middle. None of the lore.
Yeah, I could follow along. Yeah.
Part 6, but right off the bat,
it's such a complicated story.
It's quite, yes. Is he alive? Is he not alive? It's very complicated.
He's being resurrected via lightning bolt like Frankenstein. Okay, whatever. I'm on board.
Yeah, sure,
I remember watching the Halloween series. I remember watching all of them. So maybe not all of them. But in one weekend, we did 1, 2. I think we skipped 3 because it's not Michael Myers. So we did 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and H2O, which was new at the time.
In one weekend?
In one weekend. It was like, we just watched them all weekend. So that was sort of my introduction to that.
There's no room for us to be going out and doing drugs. We were too busy at sleepovers having pizza.
I was too busy marathoning the Halloween franchise. While drinking cheer wine.
Our parents needn't worry. We were not. Yeah. I always remember that. Like, I didn't drink until I was like 20. I didn't do.
Don't worry, I've always been exceptionally lame.
Yeah, like don't worry. Like our parents needn't worry. Like I was at a we were going to Moto's and going to the movies and then going back to somebody's house and you don't need to worry. Like, I'm not going to house parties. I'm not sleeping with anybody. Like, don't worry about it.
Joke's on you, Mom. I don't get invited to parties.
Yeah. I don't even know they're happening or where.
I don't even know where or when they're happening. I don't get invited.
Like, this was and this is still my idea of a wonderful weekend.
I'm
going to watch all the Halloween movies.
That sounds like a great weekend. Let's hang out all weekend and eat pizza and have a horror movie marathon.
And now we just have to add in where we have to stand up every now and then because our bones hurt.
Oh, I got to move more,
We have to have some omeprazole for the pizza.
Well, you do.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the GERD. So, so yeah, we can still do it now. We just got to add in a couple
And we
things.
do. And we do. Maybe not
we
the whole
do.
weekend. Maybe not
This
the whole
is our
weekend.
idea.
But
This is literally our idea of a good time. But I just think that's funny because it's just like nothing has changed.
nothing has changed.
And also, there was never a concern that either one of us was really getting into anything we didn't need to be. Like,
No, call Eric's mom. She'll tell you. They're still watching
the hardest
Jason
thing you did
movies.
was like a full fat Coke, you know? That was like the hardest thing you had was like not a diet drink or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those were the
thing.
days. Those were the
Yeah.
days. But that was definitely slasher movies certainly became a thing for me. You know, particularly the big three, Jason
Yeah.
and Michael and Freddy. Those movies are still like they're. I mean, I recognize that most of them are not good movies, but I don't care. I watch a
doesn't
lot
matter.
of stuff that is not good movies. In fact, most of the movies I own in my 2,500 plus movie collection probably aren't considered good movies by Rotten Tomato standards or whatever, but
yeah.
I have a lot of love for those movies. And part of it's nostalgia and part of it is just though they epitomize horror to me. Like,
Yeah. Like we said, like horror is an art form. Even the bad stuff.
yes.
Like, it just is. It's, you know, for me, if I'm entertained, then that's really all I'm asking for out of a movie. Like, if
The worst thing
a
you can
movie
be is boring.
Is boring. Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes we'll watch a horror movie and I'm just like, this is boring. And
this
honestly,
is bad
that's
because
worse to
I'm
me.
bored and I keep finding myself like picking up my phone because I'm bored.
Yeah. But like, you know, Jason Takes Manhattan or Goes to Manhattan or what, like, I'm not bored.
It's not good, but
It's
I'm
not
not
good,
bored.
But I am having a good time.
like watching a train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah. But nobody really dies in real life like a train wreck.
Nobody gets their head punched off.
Yeah. And I feel like, so, you know, you were kind of having the classics education around the time that I was paying more attention to what was coming out.
Yeah.
And I have experiencing that in like a social way with my friends, at sleepovers and stuff like that. My classics education came later, kind of end of high school into college.
Okay.
And it was mostly because of you. So, you know, I can remember, so that's kind of like next step. I mean, you know, you had always been a horror fan, and I can remember about the time I was like 18 or 19, like, I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, like, I've never seen these, I've never seen this, I've never seen this, and you're like, well, you got to watch this. And so that kind of started, it kind of started our friendship as adults as well, because like, we were never like not friends, but we also like hung around in our own circles and did our own thing. Like, you know, when I was in high school and you'd graduated and that kind of thing. So like when I got out of high school, we sort of connected and like started really hanging out as adults, kind of due to horror movies, you know, and like you being like, oh, well, you know, you've got to watch this. And so one though I will remember is the original Friday the 13th I watched with Jessie and her dad Tim. I can remember watching that. And I had seen Halloween, I think, like on Fear Fest. But like, and obviously I'd seen like Jaws, which I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Jaws as being one of our dad's favorite movies.
Yeah, Jaws
we
has been a
obviously
constant in my life as far back as I can remember.
Yes, that was another one where, we watched that all the time with our dad. And again, that was one that I could handle because while it is scary, I'm like, I live in a landlocked state. I ain't getting in the damn ocean.
You
like,
lived in
it's fine.
Florida. What are you talking about?
No, like by the time I watched Jaws, probably I was
I watched it in Florida.
in Tennessee.
Landlocked. I mean, that thing could. We live like 2 miles from the beach. That thing could flop on over to the house.
Flop onto the.
Just
I can't remember if well, but to be honest though, we didn't go to the beach.
not too often.
We really never went to the beach that often. So it was really only going to be a specific threat at a very specific time. I could live my life.
You could sleep. He's not going to creep in your room at night.
He's not going to fly into my room like Dracula, like Bela Lugosi. Yeah, but yeah. So I had seen a couple classics, but it was really you introducing me. You know, there was a point where I was in college and we hung out all the time. And I would come to your apartment.
You know, you wouldn't have guessed that based on our childhood. Again, not that we were like adversarial, but no, like I don't know.
Yeah, it is strange. Yeah, because you know, as kids, we are the only two siblings. We're America's favorite, but so it was just us, and we're only 2 years apart. So obviously, it's like, you know, we're our only playmates at home. So
yeah,
but like we were constantly fighting, constantly bickering with each other.
Oh yeah,
and then as we got older, again, we didn't hate each other, but we just had our own friend circles.
Yeah.
Did our own thing.
We were off doing our own things.
We were off doing our own things. We could get along, but we didn't hang out.
No.
So it is funny that like we are essentially best friends as adults, because you really would not have.
Well, I'm your best friend. I'm kidding.
It's always embarrassing when someone's your best friend.
You could tell yours it doesn't go both ways.
It doesn't go both ways.
No, I kid.
Yeah. But yeah, it is interesting. But but again, we started hanging out as adults. I remember you living at your apartment that you were at for years. This was pre-April. I was in college, and I would come over all the time, and I can remember watching. This is how our summer spoop series began.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Which I think we've talked about on here before, that we did for years and years, and then COVID kind of killed it, but we've brought it back. It's been resurrected. Mm-hmm. But it started with the Friday the 13th movies, where we spent a summer watching all of them in order, because I had only ever seen the first one, and you were like, well, you know, we got. And again, Friday the 13th never scared me.
Right.
Like, you know, Freddy and Michael.
You know, they never scared me either. And I guess I didn't.
I'm not going to go to summer camp. There's bugs there. I'm fine.
I mean, he can move from the summer camp. He goes to Manhattan. If he can get to Manhattan,
I've never been there either. So
he can get to grow up, Amy.
Again, it's only a threat.
I almost made you spit coffee on your computer, didn't I? I can tell.
It's only a threat at a very specific. If I just avoid.
No,
the woods,
Jason can get anyway. He's not bound to the water. He doesn't have gills. He can if he wants to find you. He can get there. He'll hitchhike. He'll do whatever. He'll just walk. He feels no pain, Amy.
It's true. He's quite slow though.
Well, he's got time.
He's got nothing but time.
You're not going anywhere. Yeah. Where else was job. He got meetings to go to? No.
His calendar is wide.
He's going to find you and he's going to kill you. But no, I was never. I don't know. I was never afraid of Michael Myers and Jason.
Oh,
and
I was.
Freddie.
Michael.
I guess I was just older when I saw them. Mm-hmm. And so the first Halloween movie I think is. Well, first of all, it's one of my absolute favorites. It's a top 5 movie. Absolutely. Has been for years. That one is actually scary. Like it's still it's just so well done. The sequels, you know, you get diminishing returns with the sequels, like with most things. But overall, they didn't really scare me. You know what did scare me? We mentioned in the last episode was The Ring. And The Ring is one of my most memorable movie theater experiences that I've ever had in my life. So this was what, 2002?
I believe.
I'm thinking so. We're in high school. Yeah. Were you there for that screening where everyone went? So
I remember being in an absolute packed theater. I went with Ashley and her mom, and I was in the back row.
I
don't know if it was the same screening that you were at.
So, I remember the next day, it was a Monday night, because, which was not normally a go to the movies night, but the next day, Tuesday, was election day, and so everybody was off the next day.
It's going to the
And
movies.
so the theater, it had just come out, and it really had the word of mouth of like, it's so fucking scary.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I remember we had our group, and we show up at the theater, and like everybody's there. Like basically, our entire high school was there. The neighboring high school was all there in our various social groups, and so we're in the theater absolutely packed. I think it was the same. I feel like it was maybe the same.
It.
And again, it was probably like you and I probably didn't even know each other were going. It was just everybody was going.
Exactly.
You showed up with your friends. I showed up with my friends, and it was like, oh, hey, you're here.
Hanging out with different people. Again.
No, I remember running into all sorts of people I knew, and there were like it was a theater. It was a Monday night, a theater packed. I don't think there was an empty seat, and it was all high school kids, which now sounds awful.
That sounds like a.
but
I'm
here's
just
the
gonna
thing.
wait and stream that one at home.
Here's the thing: it was so much fun, and people were watching the movie and were engaged in the movie.
Yeah.
And I know that my friend Ryan was there, and I'm pretty sure Brian was there as well. I remember this. You're gonna remember this if you were in the same theater as me. Mm-hmm. The first really big jump scare of the movie, which we actually talked about, I think you had in your top 5,
I did.
where you see the girl in the closet.
Yeah.
The smash cut, just one of the scariest jump scares I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
The entire theater screams, right? It's just this visceral reaction. And then I remember way down in the front, this big guy, like he must have been like a basketball player or something. Stands up and goes, "Fuck this, I'm out," and walked out of the theater, and everyone started laughing, and it went from like screams to that to laughter, and it was just one of the best reactions.
Oh, that's
and
so
he just
funny.
straight up walked out of the theater.
He said, "Nope, not for me,"
and he was gone. And everyone was, again, it was a theater full of high school students, which sounds awful, but everyone was so into it. Like we were
high school students in 2002, and we were way better. So,
well, yes, clearly.
No.
Hey, you want to know a fun fact?
Sure.
April was in that theater as well.
Are you joking?
Before we had really met. Yeah. She was on a date with another guy.
Fuck him. I'll kill him.
I know. I mean, he's all right.
Is it the one you went to school with?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's
We'll let
fine.
him pass. He's fine.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I don't know that I was in that screening, actually.
Okay,
I don't remember that.
I'm sure there
think
were
that
several theaters that were showing it that night. I'm sure it wasn't just one.
Don't know if I went that. For some reason, I feel like I went on like a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but I know that I went with Ashley.
It was all the fucking rage in
and
late
her mom.
2002.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing is everybody was going to see it. And I remember our theater being packed, which is why maybe I think it's a Saturday, but it could have very well been a Monday night.
Yeah.
Because every screening was sold out.
Yeah.
And we were in the back row, and in my mind, the theater is really big, but I know that movie theater, and I'm like, it couldn't have been that big.
Yeah.
But I
in my
remember
mind, it's
being,
huge. It's a giant amphitheater thing, but in reality, there was probably like
it's like the
50 of us in
MXC
there.
screens in my mind, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can remember being in the back row in the left corner, and Ashley's mom loved horror movies, and so she really wanted, she was like, "Come on, we gotta go," and Ashley was down to do it, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I've heard it's so scary," and yeah, watched a lot of it through my hands, and that was absolutely the scariest movie I'd seen up until that point. Like, it fucked me up.
Yeah,
and,
that one was
it's
big for
still on
our generation. I think that was a landmark one.
Yes. The Japanese horror, that kind of introduction to like American audiences, and then like having The Grudge and everything, which is also oh Jesus! I watched the original Grudge a couple years ago for the first time, the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about
it's
one
so
of the
scary.
so fucking scary that movie is.
Yeah.
I mean, the American one's fine. Like, and I remember at the time being like, "Oh, this is scary. It's good." The original is so scary. And I watched it, like 3 years ago, again, not much scares me anymore. And I was like, this is fucking terrifying.
So I remember there being a moment where it clicked for me. Mm-hmm. And I remember that moment being in... So I would watch horror movies, though, you know, at that point... for several years, it had been like you watch them around Halloween time, like everyone else. And,
yeah, well, because they were on TV so much more.
And those were the years I remember, like, Brian and our friend group, and it was kind of like... Some of us had seen some of the classics, and then others hadn't seen others, and so, like, I remember introducing them to, like... Not introducing, we just watched them for the first time together.
Yeah.
Like, we watched Halloween and The Exorcist on my recommendation, and then that was the first time, like, I saw the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah.
Really, that was the first time I got into the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. A little later. And so I remember my first semester of college. Mm-hmm. This would have been the fall of 2003, October 2003. I was out of the house for the first time ever. It was short-lived, but I was. And I was in my dorm room, and it was just very October-y
Did you
outside.
live in Cooper or McCord?
I lived in Cooper.
R.I.P.
Yeah, both of which are no longer there.
Yeah.
And I remember being in my dorm room and just like, you know, it's like a prison cell that you can leave. You know, it's cinder block walls, and I mean, it was small, and I was like sleeping on, So,
A
not a
glorified
nice place,
cot.
but it was my first It was my first spot that was mine. Mm-hmm. That was not in my parents' home.
Yeah.
Home.
A home.
In my parents' home.
Uh-huh.
So, they had a campus movie channel that if you plugged into the cable on campus, all it did was play movies all day. And they were playing all horror movies because it was October. And I remember sitting in my dorm room by myself. It was like I had the rare like afternoon where I wasn't doing anything.
You were probably skipping class.
I was probably skipping class. And I remember watching Scream, which I'd obviously seen before at that point. And I also watched a movie that I watched it perfectly how this movie should be watched. From Dusk Till Dawn. Did not know the twist.
That's great.
Because all I saw was, okay, this is... Because I had, like, kind of recently seen Pulp Fiction and stuff for the first time.
So you saw Quentin Tarantino.
Aware of Tarantino, and I saw his name come up, and it's set in the desert. It's like this heist movie, or these, like, criminals. And I'm like, oh, it's Tarantino's in it, and he's involved? Okay, cool, I'm watching this.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And I did not know the twist that, like, a third of the way through it becomes this crazy vampire movie.
Yeah.
So the absolute perfect scenario for watching that movie. I just went in assuming this is this movie. It's a Tarantino movie about like some criminals.
Yeah.
And no, it's not.
Oh my
God. It is,
God,
but no, it's not.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the dorm watching these movies, and it was just one would end and the other would come on. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is what you do.
Just like God intended.
This is what you do at Halloween time. And because I just intrinsically in my brain link Halloween and horror, I did at the time.
Yeah.
I remember having this conscious thought of like, I wish I could feel this all the time. And then I thought, I could just be a horror movie guy. Like, that, I literally thought,
like,
I was
wait,
like,
I could.
That's how I do it. Like that, I literally had that thought of like, that's how I keep this feeling all the time. Yeah. Is I just get into horror movies and like that's one of my that's my thing now.
Here's to feeling good all the time.
Here's to feeling good all the time. And that was quite literally. So there was across campus. It's no longer there. Mm-hmm. It was called Dad's CDs.
Yeah.
Appropriately enough.
Yeah.
And they, of course, had... this was really when I was first getting into movie collecting, which is still something I do. And this is really when I started to build up my horror collection. And I would go over to Dad's CDs, and they had a really great used DVD section that were all pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And that's when I started getting into... more like foreign stuff, Like, I remember and talking to the people that worked there and getting recommendations from them. Well, it's like, this is when I first, like, really started, like, being introduced to Italian horror, which is something that I really came to love.
Yeah, okay.
Like, hey, you got to watch Suspiria. You've got to watch Deep Red. You've got to watch Fulci's Zombie.
Yeah.
You've got to watch Mario Bava. And that's when I really started, like, kind of expanding. And plus, it was like, in my head, it was like, okay, this is like a thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm educating I'm going to dive into the horror genre.
Because again, you were like, I just found a way to combine two things I love, which is scary movies and history.
Yes.
You're like, I'm about to embark on this lifelong journey of, I'm going to learn about the history. I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it all.
Yep.
Got to collect them all.
And I'm still doing it.
You're still doing it.
I don't have to collect them all, but I do have to see them all.
Yeah.
And if I collect them, that's just a bonus.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's not necessarily... I mean, I guess it's not about the physical media, because obviously you do love physical media. But, yeah, you're not about, I gotta own every horror movie that's ever existed. But you're trying to watch them all.
I'm trying to watch them all. I'm never going to get to. And there are still...
That's me with books, too. I'm just like, I'll probably die before I read all the ones I even own, Yeah. But I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
give it the old college try.
Yeah, I mean, there are still... Like, okay, how many 80s horror movies could there possibly be? And I've been watching them for decades. How have I not... Like, there are still, every year...
Ones that you're like...
There are still ones where I'm like, I have never heard of this.
Yeah.
What is this? And it's like the new thing I discovered. And that's just 80s horror. Like, we've got a century plus of horror movies. So it's like, I'm always learning about new classic stuff, and I love keeping up with the new trends. I like, again, it's my love of history. Yeah.
I think where I've kind of landed is I'm still very much behind you in seeing a lot of stuff. You certainly watch a lot more than I do. My husband loves to watch. He's very much like, what's new? What's new? What haven't I seen? Like, what's come out? What's the newest thing that's been added? And so I'm always trying to be like, why don't we watch something that's like, there's so much that we haven't seen that's older. Yeah, because there's so many older movies, like particularly like 80s, 70s, 80s movies that I don't know about. There's so much that's new to me.
Today might be after we're done here, might be a good day to just finally watch Reanimator.
Well, I have to drive to Nashville today, so maybe not today, but soon.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still a couple of, I think I feel like not my last, but there's still some like heavy hitters, I should say, that I haven't or hadn't seen. Like, I didn't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre until 3 years ago with you.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my one like outlier of like, how have I never seen that? Like,
yeah.
And I think once was enough for me. Actually, it's not for me.
Oh, I love that
movie. It's one of those movies where like I get it. I get why it's important. It's not enjoyable in any way for me to watch, and therefore, like, it's not like putting on Scream. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or
no, it's not a fun
Halloween.
Movie.
It's not a fun movie. It's. I can totally appreciate it for what it is. It is not for me personally. That's kind of a one and done watch. And I think that's also why I kind of put it off for so long, because I was kind of like, I don't know that I'm going to enjoy this. Mm-hmm. And I did not in that way. Like, I didn't enjoy it in the way that I'm like, I would like to watch this again.
Yeah.
But there's so much. And so, I mean, I'm still asking you, I mean, how many times am I just like, we want to watch a movie tonight. Here's the vibe we're in, and you're like, oh my god, this is my bread and butter. Like, what do you kind of want? And I'll just be like, give us here's what we're thinking. Pick one of these for us, or something like that. You've made a list for me on Letterboxd of just like, here's some horror you should prioritize. And so if I'm looking to watch a movie, especially if I'm like by myself and I can just watch what I want, I'm just like, let me look at this list. Like, let me start with
it warms
this.
My heart.
And that's a brief history on how we became America's scariest siblings?
Yeah, spookiest, scariest,
Spookiest siblings. Yeah.
ghouliest.
Ghouliest? Julie Ghoulia? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, baby.
That's baseball, baby.
That's baseball, baby.
Hey, if you want to follow us, well, if you want to listen to more episodes, just go wherever you got this one. I don't care.
Where'd you find this one? Go
Apple,
back there.
Spotify, YouTube, the website, whatever.
Just go right back there.
Just go back there.
Well, you
There should be a big
recently
list of them.
posted you recently posted a playlist of all of our Halloween apps.
Oh yeah,
So,
good call. On YouTube, we've got all of our Ghoul Kids Club episodes in one
Yep.
place. If 3 episodes this month just isn't enough, and you want to go back and revisit all of our Halloween,
Or if you're a newer listener and you haven't listened to them.
yeah,
back
and
and-
there's some good stuff in there. There's Goosebumps. There's Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's scary stories to tell in the dark. There's
Now, last year's Halloween special, we did Haunted Attractions.
Haunted Attractions.
That was a particularly fun episode.
It was.
I feel like that's they give some good stories, some good lore on the two of us and,
Sure, yeah.
and why we are the weirdos that we are. So
If you would like to follow the podcast on social media, we are on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads at Cool Kids Club Pod. You can also search for us on Facebook, just Cool Kids Club Podcast, and you will find us. You can also follow my nerdy playroom, whatever you want to call it, Instagram account at Cool Kid Clubhouse. Someone's getting their own little clubhouse together.
I am getting my own little clubhouse together. I don't know what we'll call it.
And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't thank Brian. Hey guys, Wakefield for
Hey Ghouls.
Hey Ghoul.
Hey Ghouls
Hey
Wakefield.
Ghouls Wakefield. For his theme song on the Ghoul Kids Club theme, going back into the vault for another year, but it shall return.
And soon there'll be another
Yeah,
alternative.
We'll get
theme
there.
song.
We'll get there.
In a matter of weeks, we'll have another Brian Wakefield banger for you
Yes,
guys. So
but for now, this is it for the Ghoul Kids Club this year, Amy.
it is. It felt good. There's some strong episodes.
I've had a good season. We're gonna have us a
Yeah.
little party over here. I think it'll
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We hope that you guys have had a great spooky season
Yes.
and continue to, as you listen to this episode, make the most of these last couple of days of spooky season. And we'll be back soon as the Cool Kids Club. But until then,
Stay ghoul.
stay ghoul.
Stay ghoul. Keep the ghoul alive in your heart all year.
Yeah.